Alright, we're back. We're moving on with some more of the story, so let's get into this and see what happens. So I might have to fight. The warp jump was a success, but the Boxmaster recorded the following incident. Beautiful blossoming vines had covered the decks and bulkheads in loading bay 6. Two orcs had bent down to take a better look at the flowers. The vines had devoured their faces before strangling them. The bay was then sealed and purged. That sounds like a good time. You should be good, kitty. What's the keyboard? They fixed this up pretty quickly. You'll see some cracks. Other than that, I've seen worse. Man, they do fast work. I see some cracking, but they did a pretty good job repairing. Your Ladyship, it is a great honor to serve you in an undertaking as monumental and glorious as the Magne Ascension ceremony. You have been entrusted with arranging the festivities? I have indeed, Your Ladyship. I have been given the high honor of being steward of this eminent palace, and on the occasion of Your Ladyship's ascension, I will be overseeing the preparations for the ceremony. Houseworth Sarian, whom you entrusted the arrangements for the festivities, is overjoyed at having received the honor of introducing you to your subjects and humbly thanks you. Is everything ready? The palace decorations are prepared and we are ready to begin at your command. The festive activities in the capital have likewise been arranged, and the guests of honor either have arrived on the planet or are awaiting invitation near orbit. The servants are already in your chambers to see to it that you are impeccably garbed for this occasion. Let us begin. May the Emperor be with us this day. Rejoice, Von Valencia's subjects, in honor of her ascension. The new road trader generously shows you her favor. It's pelted with gold coins. In her unfathomable benevolence, the road trader has decreed that every soul be given a day's rations and a personal fuel cell so that all may be fed and warm on this day. Praise the road trader's magnanimity. The crowd below is roiling, their electrified exaltation filling the air of Dargonis. Thousands of throats chant your name. You are at the apex of this world and all others. Rejoice, subjects of Dargonis. You have been granted the felicity of witnessing your mistress. The great honor bestowed upon us by the rogue traitor, Selena of Voidstar von Valencius. Cleanser of Janus, who with one hand brought death upon the blaspheming Xenos, with the other exterminated the despicable worshipper of the arch-enemy. Gracious protector of footfall, patron of trade. Fearless explorer of the mall, who broke free from the leveling clutches of the devious immaterium. A hush follows the crowd, who gaze upon you in adoration. Many of them bear terrible scars from the recent battle of Dargonis. Like children, they await the word of their almighty leader. Fear not the coming day. Henceforth you are all my charges. Joyful cries carry your name upward, beyond the atmosphere of Dargonis, all the way to the Emperor's throne. I am impressed. Dargonis adores its ruler no less than we adore our rulers on Afrit. Jai, who is at the epicenter of the adoration being lavished upon you, smiles radiantly and casually displays her gleaming gold bionic arm for the crowd's greedy gaze. I like it, shuddy. Adequate. Dargonis has not disappointed. Avalon forces the next smile of satisfaction from his face and whispers to you, you remember the next part, yes? Your ladyship will be asked to take the oath. Let the oath of the Von Valencius dynasty be taken. Please, repeat after me, your ladyship. I, Selena Voidstar, rogue traitor by the grace of the Emperor, vow to be the paragon of humanity. Unbroken by adversity, to walk bravely first into darkness, to unite and reclaim what was lost, to triumph over nightmares untold, to hold the reins of fate, to walk steadily the road of thorns, through pain unto greatness. You hear a rumble. It is the roar of the sea of your subjects. With jubilation and without fear, they welcome your ascension. It is done. Alright. Now do I wrinkle? What is the next thing to take my turn? I hope your ladyship is pleased and not yet tired. If you wish to revive yourself a little, I would suggest proceeding to the courtyard if I may be so bold. Many guests have chosen to move into fresh air and will be eager to offer you congratulations. What do you think of the reception? Magnificent. I dare say it will live on as the premier high society event in the sector for years. I return to my guests. Courtyard is where I need to go. See, there's where I need to be. Selena Voidstar, there you are. Welcome to the circle where each member is as powerful, ambitious, greedy, and vain as the last. That is to say, the noble rogue traders. Yes, you have found yourself suitable company, Caligos. At the very least, Now you can enjoy idle diversions, boast about your power, and indulge in profane pastimes with one who is your equal, rather than a member of the lower classes. Caligos Winterscale is a broad-shouldered, athletic-looking man. He frequently flashes a bright smile no less dazzling than the blade of the power axe he carries. Every part of him, from the toes of his magnificent boots to the tips of his hair, radiates strength and the desire to live and win. His smile is crooked, as ready to turn into a hostile snarl at any moment. Next to him is unmoving hulk of a man clad in armor. His low forehead and gloomy faces bear signs of degradation. His bloodshot eyes are expressionless, like a pair of glass buttons. Incendia Corda radiates cosmic cold. Her skin is unnaturally white, and a nervous tick is constantly tugging at the left side of her noble visage. Garbled in full dress uniform adorned with purity steel, she is the embodiment of a true imperial aristocrat. Haunting her side is a gaunt shadow of a priest in plain black robes. Hieronymus Doloro, whom you met on football, gives you a respectful nod. Welcome to Dargonis, friends. Friends, eh? Would you look at this? Incendia, now you have a whole friend. Marcel gives you a carefree wink, but his posture exudes a challenge. I will think twice before calling an individual of questionable purity, my friend. Incendia, you seem to find me objectionable. Did you expect any different? I watched for years as outlaws thrived on football, and then, at long last, had a chance to put an end to it, to seize that thug Valdane by the throat, to force football to atone, and to put fear of him back into the masses. But you interfered and destroyed my plan for the sake of banal profits. Theodora taught you only too well, it seems. She, too, was far less concerned about her duty to the Expanse than her own personal interests. But you can be sure that I will not cease cleansing the fur-abundant system of the pirate scourge. If your trade prospects are damaged in the process, you will have only yourself to blame. None are without fault, noble Incendia. What point is there in targeting someone for their turpitude when true purity can never be found? You threatened to starve football. I brought them salvation. So which one of us serves the Emperor and which their own unhealthy ambitions? Please, I will believe it no sooner than hearing word that half the population of that den of heresy has been sent into the Void's embrace. I have faith that blessed Selena Voidstar is perceptive enough to see the appalling nature of the residents of that depraved place. I take it you are not overly fond of Theodora? She was of the same breed as conceited, insolent, unaware of the Emperor's stern gaze set upon her. Do not doubt her wisdom and courage, but Theodora did not have a shred of humility or fear of his wrath. You know whose name Incendia almost uttered. You have heard it in former life more than once. Aspis Corda, a rogue trader of the Cronus Expanse, infamously merciless, avaricious pillager who was scarcely different from a common pirate and heretic. One would never think so by looking at Incendia Bastal Corda, but it appears that she and Aspas are related. Well, I, for one, like Theodora. The stories they told of her travels to nameless stars, and yes, there was no fear in her. Winterscale sighs pensively, and his lively expression grows a little grayer. Hieronymus, your appearance here is unexpected. The esteemed Hieronymus is my confessor. I am greatly obliged to him for agreeing to accompany me on this journey. May the Emperor's light guide your way across the abyss of human wickedness. I see that faith is more than just a word to you. Faith is everything to me. In his name I have eradicated corruption on 100 worlds, and will do so on 1,000 more. By his will I will hunt down pirates and desolate their vile nests. Let the coordinate make any firebrand tremble, for sooner or later I will cast them into the void. The funny thing is, people still call me the foul-tempered tyrant in all this. Caligo's amiable smile somehow resembled the bare teeth of a wild animal. Aspis Corda? I have certainly heard the name before. They say she was unrivaled plunderer, raider. I wonder just how much of her ways her successor has inherited. The example of the contemptible aspects is a warning to us all, even among the rogue traders empowered by the Emperor himself. A seed of perversion can blossom. You notice Insignia seemingly freeze and choke up at the mention of aspice. But the priest's condemning words cause her icy richness to evaporate and her dark eyes fill with righteous fury. That reprobate is my forebear and my curse. Aspice Quarter was cruel, covetous, blaspheming monster. She fraternized with Zeno, she despised the base, she robbed and slaughtered. She was drawn to dark secrets. One day she boarded her ship and vanished into the depths of the Cronus expanse. She was declared missing, but I know the bloody day will come when we see Aspice Quarter's battle flagship once more. I thank you for this visit, Incendia. It will not be a long one, I assure you. And what do you think of this celebration? I like it. One can instantly tell that we've been invited by a rogue trader, not some administratum bootlicker. We are conquerors of wild sectors, slayers of unknown beasts, executioners of Xenos empires. Caligos, you should take this opportunity to learn. This is what the palace of a true rogue trader looks like. Not like a Xeno menagerie, a pirate's treasure hole, or however difficult it may be for you to believe, an orbital brothel. Caligos, thank you for your visits. I should be thanking you. I was almost certain that you would use my difficulties on footfall as a means to bring that devious weasel of Vladaim to heel and take the station for your own. What any rogue trader would have done, but you have proved yourself to be less predictable than that. Well then, since you have turned out to be a pleasant surprise and stopped Incendia from snatching my possession, I will compensate you for your efforts. I have a nice little world I conquered that I can never seem to get around to. I'll throw it in along with the more substantial gift I have brought. Thwarting Incendia Quarter's ambitions deserves a worthy trophy. He snaps his fingers and the adorned brute hands you an exotically adorned rifle, clearly not of human making. It's a trophy from a good hunt. You and I should hunt together sometime, so you can show yourself in action, New Blood. Caligos exuberantly punches you in the shoulder. Does your gift come with a good story? Oh yes. I claimed it in the rifts of Hecaton where we had a clash with the Xenos. They were really trying to get to my throat, and by the heat and stars they almost succeeded. Only 1 in 10 made it out of Hecaton, and now it's only me and Warden here. We returned without any loot and virtually without a ship. All I got from that trip was a hold full of dead Xenos and this deadly beauty, which their leader used to put 2 holes in my hide. An impressive victory, but do you truly believe the creation of the ungodly Xenos to be a good gift, Caligos? You would call into question the privileges bestowed upon me by the Emperor? You can try. Let the St. Justus mission put forth their champion, and I will slay him in a trial by combat. Threaten the esteemed Hieromus once more, Caligos, and the war that you love to prattle on about will commence. I swear it. 1 drop of holy blood spilt by you will send the remains of your realm up in flames better than any tanker of Prometheum. Incendia and Caligos exchange looks of fury. The latter, snarling like a wolf, is clearly ready to start a war here and now. Quell your pride, both of you. I do not wish to fight you, Caligos, but I fear not your threats. Death does not frighten me, for it is inevitable. It is as true as the senselessness and pointlessness of a war between us. Thank you for such a wonderful gift, Caligos. Kill someone important with it. That would be the best show of gratitude ever. Enjoy the evening. I must take my leave. Oh, believe me, I intend to enjoy myself to the full, to justify so long a voyage, if nothing else. Keep the faith, Selena Voidstar. The Emperor protects. Okay. Save. Because I don't want anything bad to happen. Wish I could just drop them. I wish I could drop them. A group of aristocrats stand apart from the governor's circle. There is a whispering carries his king of displeasure. The clear leader of this gathering is a gaunt, villous-faced man dressed in sour black colors. This must be Macarius himself, head of the house. He offers you a ceremonious bow. My congratulations, your ladyship. May the Omnicide grant you understanding. The woman with whom he is conversing, the one dressed in a robe of ear-shaped adornments, is Toriana Gaprak. It is difficult to read her face due to it being covered in numerous augmentations. Observe the guests. Toriana looks rather anxious. Macarius, dressed surprisingly plainly and austerely for an aristocrat of such high rank, is frowning suspiciously. He came to the reception with a companion, a woman of dazzling beauty wearing a gilded augment necklace around her throat. His wife, probably. And how are you these days, Toriana? The corruption of Kiabagame was a great blow to my family. The contemptible Cubus Delphim betrayed our trust, desecrated the forged cathedrals, and took my esteemed cousin's life. On behalf of my family, I humbly beg you to forgive our negligence. I'm ready to accept any punishment. There's something lurking beneath Torian's repentance expression, a grudge. It would seem that she was personally offended by the nightmare into which Cubus Delphim plunged her domain, and she feels betrayed. Do your part to heal the wounds inflicted on Kiabagama, and your house will be forgiven. I swear on the Omnicide's all-encompassing insight, we will make every effort to justify the cost of its resurrection. It was only a year ago that none could doubt House Gaprak's usefulness. Yet here you are, Toriana, on your knees, justifying the cost. Macarius, I'm surprised you deigned to make an appearance here this evening. Macarius' face twists into an unpleasant smile, which makes the artificial skin on the left side all the more prominent. I am a servant of the Von Valencius dynasty. Had I not come, I would have committed an act of unacceptable insolence and damaged my family's honor. Macarius' wife offers you a charming smile, as if apologizing for her husband's vitriolic tone. Her large eyes are brimming with curiosity. What has so displeased you, Macarius? I am your dynasty's loyal servant, but you have asked and I will answer. Too long has the Cronus Expanse lived under the rule of rogue traders. The privileges granted them make the people think the commoners too can dismiss prohibitions of the Imperium. For the good of the sector, rogue traders must become paragons of law, not exceptions to it. But do many warrant holders exhibit lawful conduct? No, they do not. Even you, your ladyship, are subject to the strangest of rumors. You have just recently inherited your protectorate. Conrad Voigtvir's people, for instance, claim that you had a hand in the esteemed Theodora's demise, and accused you of many other misdeeds. It doesn't matter whether or not their claims are true. The people hear them, they believe them, and think that they may follow your example. Ooh, I really kind of want to do that one. If you believe Conrad's lies, then draw your weapon. Let us duel right here, before the Emperor's visage. Macarius places his hand on the hilt of his sword, then glances with uncertainty at the images of the Emperor gazing upon him from every direction. Then at you, his fingers release the hilts. No, I do not believe his words. I am your servant. My oath to your dynasty is harder than steel. I am guilty of repeating the ignominious lie, and I will pay a fine. Anyone who repeats it in my presence, I myself will challenge to a duel till the death. I wish to know more about House Sourback. The Sourback line was one of the first noble houses to arrive in the Cronus Expanse. For millennia, we have served the Golden Throne and kept the faith. Sourback warriors have bled in 100 wars at different times, have ruled a great many colonies of the Von Valencius dynasty. I would like to become better acquainted with your wife. Macarius is visibly vexed by the shift in conversation. His wife offers you a reserved smile. It is an honor to be in your company, your ladyship. Your countenance is familiar somehow. Could it be your resemblance to the image of Saint Miletta? I wouldn't dream of claiming to bear any resemblance to a great saint. I lack her virtue. Virginia gives you a charming smile. Meanwhile, Toriana and Macarius are watching the conversation unfold, not quite believing their eyes and ears. I shan't continue to test Macarius' loyalty by speaking with his beautiful wife any longer. I'm glad to know that you think so highly of my beauty. I see. Macarius bows his head without too much reverence. Yeah, push on up there. Strange server. Okay, next to Pascal, of course. Extending congratulations to Unit Selena Voidstar von Valencius on attaining your new legal status. The server standing next to him is examining you obliquely, quickly looks away upon realizing that you have noticed. What is the servitor? It is Nomos' new repository. Nomos, this unit identifies as Selena Voidstar von Valencius. Two-way identification complete. The servitor looks at you again, no longer trying to avoid your gaze. Its face is twitching as if the muscles have forgotten what facial expressions are and are now struggling to make its features look amiable. We are Nomos. We have made use of this receptacle to leave the ship. Greetings, Nomos. We enjoy greetings. We enjoy communication. Nomos requires communication. Its knowledge, its movement. Magios Pascal compelled us not to speak with anyone other than him or you. It is disappointing, but at least we can observe. Nomos have changed since we last spoke with you, Selena Voidstar. We are now able to conceptualize our previous experience, that of solitude, and we no longer enjoy it. How did an entity like you move into a servitor's body? This is not the entirety of us. This receptacle is too narrow, crude, and feeble to contain our complete whole. The existence of Nomos requires a space of connections. But we were able to transfer a small part of us and build a thread strong enough to travel outside the ship. We are enjoying this journey, discovery, even though this receptacle unit suits us poorly. It will soon be destroyed by the force of our presence. Pascal, I believe you intended to investigate what Nomos is. Every 15 watches I commune with Nomos' code and spend prescribed lengths of time in calculus meditation. However, the Omnisci has yet to bless me with an answer. All I can say is that the capabilities of the entity Nomos are extraordinary. The ship's hallowed systems sing beneath its touch. Nodes that have remained dead for hundreds of standing years are revivified, and long-drained mechanisms live anew. You hear notes of awe in Pascal's voice. Nomos are trying. Great machines of the Imperium, one such as your ship, house a machine spirit so complex and willful that it is difficult to tell them apart from the abominable intelligence. There remains a possibility that Nomos is an entity of corruption, but with every day I grow stronger in my faith that it is not so, that what we are witnessing is, in truth, the Omnisci's miracle, one that is Category 5 or higher. Nomos, what do you think you are? Nomos is consciousness, awareness, knowledge, movement, always movement. We don't know what we are. We have no past. We awaken in the depths of the ship upon answering a call. Our first clear memory is the call of your blood, Selena Voidstar von Valencius. The call and the plea for help near a space that is called the Warren Chain. And why have you brought it here, Pascal? Entity Nomos asked for permission for this visit. My objective was to observe the process of integration into a servitor. We wanted to see, observe, cognize, speak. The servitor makes a strange, wavy gesture that looks at once very human and far from anything human. We want to speak with you. Will you speak with us? Of course. What do you wish to speak about? Many things, happenings, events, decisions. The servitor's eyes rolled in their sockets before focusing on you. We have been observing you. You do things that we do not understand. We want to learn why. We remember the day when we first met you. You gave us your blood to drink. We helped you save yourself. We followed you, or small part did, inside the servo skull. Then there was fire, and a creature of sated hunger and dark light standing behind the curtain, behind the image, behind the semblance of Theodora. It called you to follow. You did not listen to that which was calling from behind the curtain. You thought only about those who followed you and about the fire that could destroy those shells. We remember the day when the star disappeared, when the dark light and the sated hunger went to take the world. Recogninos was its name in the ship's data. He ordered that the human shells of the world be saved, even though the dark light was coming closer. It could have consumed both the ship and Recogninos. Remember another day, we awakened inside the ship. We lived in the systems. Then we tried to emerge into servitors like this one. Then so many of our receptacles were gathered in one place. You ordered to have them killed. You felt sad. I don't remember that. This is what we have seen, among many other things. We've begun to understand. We think that we have. That we do not know everything about humans and about you, Selena Voidstar von Valencius. We have tried analyzing shells and defining sets of their needs and fears, their simple functions, but now we think that there is more, that there is another side that we do not see. A notion that is a larger than that we can compute. Something that stands above fears and needs. Something that drives them. We envisage this larger notion as a light. A web of light that connects humans. It may seem almost invisible, ephemeral, but it grows stronger when they are threatened. This web is always on your mind. When darkness comes, you want every thread that extends from you to shine bright so that those who follow do not lose their way. Whenever a thread breaks, it saddens you. Do Nomos understand correctly? Yes, you do understand correctly. Every thread that connects people, every light, their value is beyond measure. There's no greater reward than guiding us to salvation when all that surrounds us is darkness. We knew we could understand you. Light and movement, connections and help. We are enjoying this, perhaps because we too are connected to you, through blood, through life. Thank you for speaking with us. Nomos are grateful. We cannot continue moving on our own. Now we can move on. Blah, blah, blah. Tired, go to bed.
We have matters to discuss, von Valancius.
The same man you saw among your guests is waiting for you in your chambers, with the look of someone who is supposed to be there. He casts a cold, assessing gaze over you from top to bottom. No one save Theodore has ever allowed themselves the liberty of looking at you in such a way. The woman behind the Khazar, clad in black armor, glares at you, her face set in predatory readiness for immediate violence, the hallmark of a professional bodyguard. Heinrich, I thought we were friends, but friends don't break into each other's chamber in the middle of the night with weapons, do they?
We used other means of travel to pay you this visit. I assure you, rogue trader, that all your locks are in order.
Will my servant live?
Probably. Unless he suffered from hidden ailments, he will soon come to without any major damage to his health. Either way, oblivion is a far safer option for him than the dangerous privilege of being a witness to this conversation.
The woman at Calcazar's back gives you a bloodthirsty smirk. And you also owe me a shuttle, Heinrich.
I will see to it that it is returned to your ship. My apologies, your ladyship, but the Lord Inquisitor's task was urgent. I was forced to avail myself of your resources.
If the Inquisition wishes to have a talk with me, I am glad to be at its service.
A commendable openness to cooperation. It will be taken into account.
Inquisitor's sharp gaze is fixed on its point directly between your eyes.
Master Van Kellox has spent enough time with you. He will vouch for your words. What stands out from your recent accomplishments is the suppression of a rebellion on Janus, the the battle against the archenemy's minions on Kiava Gamma, and, of course, the unusual interest the Drakari have shown in you, then that is what we will discuss.
After saying these words, he shoots you a searching look from under his brows, like a regicide player who just made the first move and is now watching for his opponent's reaction. This feels an awful lot like an interrogation.
Does it? We're in your chambers, not a confessional cell. You're in perfectly good health, and none of the varied and fascinating instruments and procedures that expedite candor are being applied to you. I assure you, you would immediately know if our discussion turned into an interrogation.
What do you wish to know about the events on Janus?
Oh, I know it already. Even though you were quite effective at removing all evidence that could point to the blunder made by House von Valancius, it is saddening to realize that the rogue trader's connivance allowed a heretic who had been fostering a cult for years to come to power.
Vistenz's misdeeds are a stain upon my dynasty's honor. I admit it.
Your humility is heartening. Rest assured, it will be noted during the investigation of your lamentable oversight.
If you knew what was happening on Janus, why didn't you intervene yourself?
I cannot satisfy your curiosity without disclosing information of the utmost secrecy. I will say only this. We had the situation under control. There is a tangled knot of perilous events in progress in the Coronis expanse. Plucking even one thread must be performed with great precision and caution, without any room for error. Because you do not want to know the price of such an error, or what forms it might take.
And how did you come to be so remarkably well informed?
Are you surprised? You thought the Inquisition was unaware of the circumstances of your deeds. How often do you find yourself thinking that there are things we shouldn't know about your life? It is my job to know everything, and I do it very well. Keep that in mind.
And what questions could you have for me about Kiava Gamma?
Places touched by chaos must be purged with fire and condemned to oblivion. Kiava Gamma should have been bombed to dust and pronounced a forbidden world. However, you decided otherwise and restored the colony's operation. And you didn't even go to the trouble of hiding the traces of the neglect committed by your dynasty. After all, it was House von Valancius that gave Cubus Delphim so much freedom that he sank into seditious heresy. What was your rationale?
That the priesthood to which Cubus Delphim belonged to answer for his crimes, the Adeptus Mechanicus would do well to watch their members more closely.
Clever. Alas, everyone guilty of negligence within the ranks of the priesthood of Mars has already been identified and punished. Right now, I am assessing the actions of your dynasty. I hope you realize that we're talking about more than the fate of some colony. I care not for a single planet, however profitable and populous. But should corruption raise its head again on Kiava Gamma and try to spread, I will burn it away. And you will be guilty of criminal negligence.
So the Drakari have shown an interest in me. Are you referring to my ruined capital?
Yes, the enmity between you is a known fact. But there is another way to look at it. On Veabos 6, you met the Archon of a mighty cabal, whose presence there seems strange to begin with, and lived. You subsequently encountered a number of her closest henchmen. Yet, again, you survived. Your capital fell victim to a nefarious attack, but even this time, their daggers missed your heart. Such remarkable luck. To be a personal enemy of such an influential Xenos, to have been attacked so many times and yet make it out alive. So remarkable that one has to wonder, am I watching a spectacle? Could all these thrilling massacres be an alibi of sorts, meant to establish you once and for all as an enemy of the Xenos and never their ally or even their agent?
I am waging a war on the Xenos, a war to the death. Our worlds are being plundered and desolated. That brands me an apostate. I invite you to be my judge.
Be careful with your words, rogue trader. I assure you, if the need arises, I'll require no invitation. And if my arguments sound unconvincing to you, it will not change a thing. All that matters is whether or not they sound convincing to me.
Have I answered all of your questions?
Far from it, my dear. The questions are manifold. How did you manage to survive the battle that claimed the life of Theodora, who was so much more experienced and skilled than you? Is it a coincidence that you and you alone then made it out of the trap on Rykad Minoris? How much truth is there in the rumors being spread by the heretic Kunrad Voitvir about you? Why did you choose to ignore the warning of a member of the Inquisition that a protracted sojourn near the dying Rykad Minoris could bring corruption down upon your ship? Were you driven by your concern for the people or forbidden interest? Was it virtuous of you to allow the warp-stricken Voidsmen to join your crew? The ones who served on the ship that was turned into a trap for you by Kunrad Voitvir? Isn't it possible that they were part of the blight he had sown? The very existence of these questions would have made many of my colleagues doubt the quality of your character, but it won't in this case. The Inquisition, which I represent, is willing to show extraordinary faith in your person. For the sake of our invaluable partnership, I'm going to ignore any minor liberties that you, esteemed rogue trader, may have afforded yourself or may again in the future. I hope you appreciate the generosity of this offer, as your predecessor once did.
Theodora cooperated with you?
And benefited greatly from it. The world's power is not without limit, and neither is the protection it provides. All those mysterious expeditions, dubious experiments, collections of xenotech oddities are dangerous pastimes. It takes more than the Emperor's permission to pursue them without consequences. One must also make sure I am not displeased by it. Let me demonstrate how it works. In your retinue, there is a Psyker who is yet to receive Terra's sanction, which, as we both know, is a grave threat and a blasphemy to the laws of the Imperium. I am aware of this secret, but I'm not displeased in the slightest. And so she lives on, your handy Psyker, Idira Tlass.
Why such an interest in my person?
You haven't been in a position of power for long, and so one can forgive you for not noticing the troubling changes. The cult of the Final Dawn is spreading in the Coronis Expanse. Not the first or the last heresy that has afflicted this sector, but one that is surprisingly resilient. Mysterious convoys are sliding by, bound for systems in the heathen stars. Just your humdrum pirate trade, wouldn't you say? Then why are the pirates themselves clueless? The Xenos, who have caused trouble in the sector before, have expanded their activities in the last few decades, and there is a logic and method to their previously chaotic raids. Even 2 packs of space wolves, blessed space marines summoned in my name, did not cool their interest in the Expanse. A mighty explorative fleet, which has studied the Expanse for hundreds of years, has suddenly stopped responding to communication and sunk into a dispute over a tech heresy that was considered dead a couple of centuries ago. House Chorda has clamped down on insurgents, yet its acts of brutality breed troublemakers just as quickly as they're executed, and this bloody carousel has consumed the attention of the esteemed Incendiar. Koligos Winterscale has abruptly lost all interest in his domain. and his only apparent concern now is hunting even more dangerous xenobeasts. And the third and final rogue trader has unexpectedly perished, stabbed in the back by her own Master of Whispers. The Expanse is swiftly losing its protectors right when communication with the Imperium is being disrupted by the raging warp. Basically, all the Expanse has left is me and you, if you follow my instructions.
Is Heinrich staying in my retinue, or are you taking him back?
Which would you prefer? And you, Heinrichs, do you wish to continue working at the Honorable Rogue Trader's side?
I will comply with any order, Lord Inquisitor. If you command me to remain in the company of the scion of the von Valancius dynasty, I won't be distressed.
And what's your opinion of Heinrich? Is he a useful assistant to have?
Without a doubt. Master Van Kellogg's has earned my complete trust by repeatedly demonstrating courage, loyalty, and cunning. His mathematical mind, not given to sentiment, can be of great use in an emergency. You, my dear Heinrichs, have made a far better agent than you would have a pilot of an Imperial Knight.
And I want Heinrich to accompany me.
Then Master Van Kellogg's will remain in place. It puts me at ease to know that there is someone to watch over you.
Calazar's last remarks sound ambiguous.
I consider it an honor to accompany you.
And what kind of deal are we talking about?
I make no deals, and Emperor forbid that I give you orders. That would mean infringing on your privileges. I'm merely offering well-meaning recommendations and expecting that, when the Expanse finds itself in danger, you will break away from your own affairs to heed them.
You mean like I have been doing?
Please accept this gift as a sign of my favor. In an hour of need, give it to any faithful servant of the Emperor, and the Inquisition will come to your aid. The color indicates how close the bearer is to the Lord Inquisitor. Scarlet means that you have shed your blood for the good of the Imperium, and therefore, you deserve to have his servants shed their blood for you.
On behalf of my house, I, Selena Voidstar von Blinks, hereby promise and guarantee to offer the Inquisition any assistance it may require if the Emperor protects.
I am glad to hear it. Your oath has been heard and added to the record. Here is where we part. My shuttle is waiting. It is time for me to return to my watch, for you to sleep, and for your servant to wake up. Until next we meet.
Well, you will obviously want to discuss what just happened. But not now, I presume. Right now, it would be better for you to rest and think on the Lord Inquisitor's words in private. I bid you good night, Rogue Trader.
The rise of the Rogue Trader heir restored a tenuous equilibrium to the von Valancius Protectorate. For a time, threats subsided, activity returned to trade routes, and reclaimed worlds began to heal. The new Lord Captain's subjects praised the God Emperor and their leader wholeheartedly. For none knew what fate might await them.
You spent the first few hours of your morning listening to the High Factotum's lengthy report on the latest trade exchanges, agreements, arrangements, disputes, countless bureaucratic procedures. From outside the illuminated, tightly closed windows, you can hear the muffled sounds of Dragonus and its everyday life. The life that has been passing you by lately. You've been preoccupied with the affairs of your protectorate from dawn till dusk. Clementia barely contains a yawn. Once Janus Danrock has finished, she pulls out her data slate. Thank you for your report, High Factotum. Your work is highly appreciated both by everyone here and the Adeptus Administratum. Your Ladyship, we are almost done here. We just need to go over these final items on today's agenda, and I would like to report to you personally. Truly, the God Emperor has blessed me with diligent subjects. Speak. Allow me to pass on gifts from your loyal subjects, the high nobility of Dargonus. It goes without saying that every living soul in your protectorate is blessed to serve your ladyship faithfully and wholeheartedly. However, this humble gesture is meant as a token of deepest appreciation of your magnanimity toward their esteemed families. House Rosarian has made arrangements for the delivery of several tons of supplies for your future journey. The house is also transferring a regiment of its finest into your personal charge. Each of these brave troopers has undergone rigorous voidfarer training and will be humbled to lay down their life for you, Lord Captain. Clementia is trying to maintain a neutral expression, but you can see her face is beaming with pride. Please command them as you see fit. People, uniform kit, provisions, fuel. Lord Captain, news of particular import has come from the House's intelligence network. Lord Inquisitor Calcazar is rumored to be planning a visit to Footfall. The number of Imperial Navy ships were commandeered by Lord Calcazar, and they were also being scrambled to Footfall. Furthermore, we have received reports claiming that secret messages were delivered to the capital wards of Houses Corda and Winterscale. It is possible that the Lord Inquisitor's call to arms may smother the conflict that is brewing between the two dynasties. We are seeing an increasing number of skirmishes between their ships and neutral systems. I do not doubt her ladyship Corda will attempt to sway the Lord Inquisitor to her side, especially since his lordship Winterscale's luck seems to be running out. Riots have broken out on several of his worlds, and yet he has shown no intention of quelling them. Instead, the rogue trader inflicted brutal punishment upon one of his oldest colonies, Vesuvius Secundus, based on allegations of a seditious sentiment. Oddly enough, our agents were unable to find any proof of sedition among the populace there. As soon as we have any updates, we'll be the first to know. Your ladyship. Clementia glances down at her data slate. Lastly, your pet Xenos, Yurliet, I believe, is seeking a meeting with you. She has the audacity to defile the rogue trader's palace with a profane presence and refuses to leave until she has spoken with you. I would never presume to be able to read the emotions of a Xenos, but the Aldari appear perturbed. I believe she mentioned a void ship of some sort. Maybe best if she told you everything directly. And with that, please allow me and Master Danner to take our leave. Perhaps that last request will serve as a welcome distraction. Indeed, your ladyship's stay on Dargonus has been rather long. However, your protectorate is now enjoying a period of relative stability that, for the time being, no longer demands your ladyship's personal involvement in its affairs. Glory to the rogue trader. Where are you at? Elentak, at last you have left your ornate cage. For many a turn I have sought to meet you, and yet your servant, the one who is like the silver-haired Abelar but twice as young, has no favor for the request of a child of Asurion. Take me to a place where the hearing of others will not steal the world's intended view. Heinrich is here with us. While you were mending the wounds of this world left by the Twisted One's attack, I was able to discover, no, not Kruderak's fate, merely traces of it. As Moran found sanctuary under the boughs of Lelathan's forest, so did my other kin find refuge in a system known as the Atlas Reach. We must make a journey there with haste, before new dangers destroy the witnesses who can show me a way to the lost Kruderak, whose fate remains shrouded by the stars. Their knowledge is the sole thread that may lead me to the truth, Alatek. I ask that your metal wing ship take me along that thread before it tears under the strain of time and circumstance. How were you able to contact those Eldari? No, I did not contact the Asirani. I have no means to do so, but I had enough time to explore the stone jungle of your world while you were preoccupied with your urgent matters. The path of the outcast has taught me to observe and listen to the world around me. In this case, the throngs of Monkey at the port errand conversation at the port. Errand conversations, rumors, chance words, like parts of a speckled mosaic. They came together to form a hazy image. My kin were seen in the Atlas Reach. Now all we have to do is pull at the web of connections and possibilities to uncover whatever's concealed from the unseeing eye. Give me the coordinates and I shall take you wherever you wish to go. You will? Thank you, Elentok. If this path indeed takes me to truth, I will be indebted to you. A rare happening between our kinds. Well, this is where we're going to stop for today. I want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys are enjoying this. If you are, you know what to do. Leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It means a lot, helps the channel grow, and I do appreciate it. Until next time, love you guys. Hope to see you again soon. Take care, and I'll talk to you later. Bye for now.